It was supposed to be the trip that saved their marriage. A quiet beach, turquoise waves, and no distractions, just the two of them. But 3 nights later, one of them was gone, the other was found covered in blood, and the question that haunts everyone who's heard this story remains the same. Did Daniel kill his wife, or was something far more sinister lurking on that dark, stormy coast? Before we dive in, if you love mysterious, real-life crime stories that keep you on the edge of your seat, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the rest of this chilling case. Maya and Daniel had been married for 7 years, but lately, they were more like strangers than lovers. Friends said they were trying to make it work, but Maya's diary, later recovered by investigators, tells a much darker story.
He's distant. He barely looks at me anymore. I don't know if this trip will save us, but it's our last chance.
They arrived at the remote coastal resort on a Sunday afternoon. It was one of those postcard-perfect places, coconut palms swaying, infinity pools overlooking the ocean, white cabanas lined with lanterns. Maya posted a smiling selfie on Instagram with the caption,
"Just us. Just the ocean. A fresh start."
But those who saw the couple in person noticed the tension. At dinner that night, Daniel was distracted, scrolling through his phone while Maya tried to talk. "Dan," she said softly, putting her hand over his. He pulled his hand away. "If we can't fix this here," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "then I don't know if we can fix it at all." The waiter, who would later testify in court, remembered Maya's expression that night, sad, almost resigned. The next morning, Maya woke up to an empty bed. The sheets were cold. She found Daniel an hour later, jogging along the shoreline, his shirt clinging to him, wet not from sweat, but from seawater. "You went swimming?" she asked. Daniel avoided eye contact.
"Yeah. Couldn't sleep. Thought I'd clear my head."
That day, small but unsettling things began to happen. Their hotel room door was left ajar when they came back from lunch. Maya's wallet was found on the balcony railing, though she swore she left it in her purse. And a bartender casually mentioned seeing Daniel at the pier the night before, talking to a woman. Maya confronted him that night.
Who was she?
"There was no woman," he snapped.
"Stop making up stories."
They argued so loudly that a guest in the next room called the front desk to complain. On the 3rd night, a storm rolled in. The sky went dark hours before sunset. The wind howled through the palm trees, and sheets of rain hammered the resort. Maya and Daniel fought again. This time, Maya grabbed her shawl and stormed out. She was last seen at 9:15 p.m. at the beach bar, sipping a rum cocktail, talking to another tourist. Witnesses said she looked upset but calm. At 10:03 p.m., a scream echoed from the rocky shoreline. Several guests heard it. One claimed it was blood-curdling. When staff searched the beach, they found nothing, just storm-tossed waves and broken branches. The next morning, housekeeping found Daniel sitting on the floor of the hotel room, soaked, shivering, and with blood on his hands. "What happened?" the hotel manager asked. "She's gone," Daniel whispered.
"I found her. I tried to help."
Police were called. Blood was found on the rocks near the waterline and smeared on Daniel's shirt. But Maya's body was nowhere to be found. Daniel became the prime suspect almost immediately. His shirt from the night was missing. His phone had been factory reset. A witness claimed to have seen a man, roughly Daniel's height, dragging something heavy toward the rocks in the middle of the storm. When interrogated, Daniel claimed Maya left the bar with some guy, the same tourist she was talking to. But CCTV footage told a different story. Maya left the bar alone. Just as police were preparing to arrest Daniel, the forensics team dropped a bombshell. The blood found on the rocks did not belong to Maya. In fact, it didn't belong to any registered guest at the resort. Who was bleeding on that beach? And where was Maya? At sunrise the following morning, a fisherman radioed police. He had seen a figure barefoot, soaking wet, walking along the coast at dawn, clutching what looked like a knife. When investigators rushed to the spot, they found two sets of footprints in the wet sand, one larger, one smaller, leading into the dense jungle. Only one set came back out. Daniel was taken into custody. The resort was no longer a paradise, it was a crime scene. Yellow tape stretched across the beach entrance. Police combed the rocks for evidence. Journalists had started to arrive, snapping pictures as Daniel was escorted out of the hotel in handcuffs. But Daniel wasn't under arrest, not yet. He was being taken to the station for questioning. Inside the interrogation room, Daniel looked hollow. His eyes were bloodshot, his hair unkempt. "I didn't hurt her," he said, over and over. "I went looking for her when she didn't come back. I found blood. I panicked. That's why it's on me." The lead investigator, Captain Morales, leaned forward.
"Then whose blood is it, Mr. Reed? Because it isn't your wife's."
Investigators began piecing together Maya's last hours. Security cameras showed her leaving the bar alone. Guests confirmed they heard a scream near the rocks minutes later. The bartender remembered something chilling. Maya told him,
"I think someone's following me."
Police expanded their search beyond the resort. In the nearby jungle, they found signs of a struggle: broken branches, footprints, and Maya's torn shawl. But then they found something that changed everything: a rusted machete, half buried in the mud, its blade caked with dried blood. The blood on the machete matched the blood from the rocks. And the fingerprints. They didn't match Daniel. Police identified the fingerprints as belonging to Luis Mercado, a local fisherman with a criminal record for assault. When officers went to question him, they found his hut empty and splattered with fresh blood. A neighbor reported seeing Luis leave before dawn, muttering to himself and carrying a large sack. Investigators now had two mysteries. What happened to Maya? And what was Luis running from or with? Just as police were about to issue a warrant for Luis, a call came in from a remote clinic 20 miles away. A woman had stumbled in at sunrise, barefoot, soaking wet, with deep cuts on her arms. It was Maya. Doctors said she was disoriented, whispering fragments of sentences.
"The cave. He dragged me. The other one. There was someone else."
When Daniel was brought to see her, he broke down in tears. Maya flinched at his touch. She was terrified, the nurse later said.
It was like she didn't know who to trust.
When Maya was stable enough to speak, she told police what happened. After leaving the bar, she felt someone following her. She turned, but before she could scream, a man grabbed her from behind, holding a blade to her throat. "He dragged me into the jungle," she said, voice trembling.
He kept saying I wasn't the one he wanted, that there was another woman.
Then came the most chilling detail.
I heard another voice. A woman's voice. She was crying, begging, and then, I heard a splash.
Who was this second woman? And why did Luis Mercado seem to think there was someone else? As investigators searched the jungle caves, they found something gruesome, a shallow grave. Inside was the body of a woman, but not Maya. Her face was bruised, her hands bound. She had been dead for at least 48 hours. When authorities ran her fingerprints, the results stunned everyone. She was Camila Ortega, Daniel's former co-worker and, as it turned out, his secret lover. When confronted, Daniel finally broke. Yes, he admitted.
I knew Camila was here. She came to talk. To tell Maya everything. I told her to leave, but I didn't hurt her. I swear I didn't.
Police now had a love triangle, a murder victim, and a fugitive suspect on the loose. But then, just when things couldn't get stranger, a fisherman reported seeing Luis Mercado dead. His body was found washed up on the shore, throat slit. Someone had silenced him. As Maya recovered, she began to recall more details from that night. One memory made her blood run cold. There was a second man, she said slowly.
I saw his shoes. Expensive ones. Not something a fisherman would wear. He was giving orders. Telling Luis what to do.
When asked if she recognized the voice, Maya hesitated, then whispered.
It sounded like Daniel.
The police station was buzzing. Daniel sat in the interrogation room, hands clasped, face pale. Your wife says she heard your voice giving orders, Captain Morales said. Daniel's voice cracked.
She's wrong. I didn't do this. I loved Maya. I still love her.
But investigators weren't buying it. The evidence was damning. The secret affair with Camila. His phone wiped clean the night of the crime. Maya's statement that she heard him in the jungle. The prosecutor was preparing to charge him with conspiracy to commit murder. Meanwhile, Maya was regaining her strength. The trauma therapy sessions were brutal, but slowly, her memory returned. She told investigators more details about the night of the storm.
I saw Luis's face in the lightning. He was terrified. He kept glancing at someone behind him, like he was being forced to do this. And the second man, he had a tattoo on his wrist. A snake. I've never seen it before.
This detail stopped Captain Morales cold. Luis Mercado had no tattoos. Neither did Daniel. Which meant there was someone else out there. Police widened their investigation. They traced calls from Daniel's phone, even the deleted ones, and found something startling. A string of calls to an unlisted number in the days before the trip. That number belonged to Rafael Vega, a former security contractor with a violent past and a reputation for solving problems off the books. When detectives brought Rafael in for questioning, he smirked and asked for a lawyer. But his alibi quickly fell apart. CCTV footage placed him near the resort the night Maya vanished. Then came the bombshell. Through Rafael's financial records, police discovered he had been paid $50,000 by Camila Ortega just weeks before the vacation. Camila, Daniel's secret lover, hadn't come to confess. She had come to blackmail Maya. And Rafael had been hired to put pressure on the couple, to scare Maya into leaving Daniel for good. But something went wrong. Rafael admitted under pressure.
Camila panicked. She wanted out. Luis tried to stop her from screaming. Things got messy.
Camila was never supposed to die. And Daniel. He swore he had no idea about any of this until it was too late. The case seemed solved, but Maya wasn't convinced. She asked to speak to Daniel alone. The room was silent except for the hum of the fluorescent lights as she looked him in the eye. "Tell me the truth," she said.
Did you know she was coming here?
Daniel hesitated, then nodded.
Yes. She told me she was coming. She said she'd tell you everything unless I left you. I told her to go to hell. I thought it was over.
Maya's hands trembled. "You lied to me," she whispered. "I lied because I didn't want to lose you," Daniel said.
But I didn't kill her, Maya. I didn't kill anyone.
The trial that followed became an international media storm. Rafael Vega was convicted of manslaughter and kidnapping. The resort faced lawsuits for security negligence. And Daniel, after months of suspicion, was acquitted due to lack of evidence tying him directly to the murder plot. But public opinion was divided. Half believed he was a grieving husband. Half believed he was the puppet master who got away with murder. Months later, Maya returned to the same beach, this time alone. She stood where the waves had washed away the blood that night. And that's when she saw it, a small, rusted locket half buried in the sand. Inside was a picture not of Camila, but of herself. On the back, scratched into the metal, were 2 words. "Next time."